7 Little Johnstons, Alex shares major life update with GF Allie, hits major milestone. In a heartfelt and emotional moment that resonated deeply with fans of 7 Little Johnstons, Alex Johnston recently shared a major life update with his longtime girlfriend, Allie, marking a significant milestone in his journey toward independence, self-discovery, and adulthood. The beloved TLC reality series, which has chronicled the lives of the Johnston family, Trent and Amber, along with their 5 children, all of whom have dwarfism, has long offered viewers an intimate look into the joys, challenges, and triumphs of living life on their own terms. But this latest chapter in Alex's story stands out as a powerful testament to growth, resilience, and the unwavering support of loved ones. For years, Alex has been navigating the complexities of young adulthood with the same determination and humor that have endeared him to audiences since the show's debut. As the second oldest of the Johnston siblings, he's often found himself caught between the responsibilities of growing up and the desire to carve out his own path, separate from the family home in Forsyth, Georgia, and distinct from the well-trodden paths of his siblings. His relationship with Allie, who does not have dwarfism, has been a central storyline in recent seasons, offering a nuanced exploration of love, communication, and partnership across different life experiences. The milestone in question? Alex has officially moved into his own apartment, his very first independent living space, and he chose to share this monumental step with Allie by his side. For many young adults, securing their first apartment might seem like a routine rite of passage. But for Alex, this achievement carries deeper significance. It represents not just physical independence, but emotional and financial autonomy, goals he's been working toward with quiet resolve for years. In a candid conversation captured during a recent episode, Alex sat down with Allie over coffee, his voice tinged with both excitement and vulnerability. "I never thought I'd get here," he admitted, looking around the modest but cozy one-bedroom unit that now bears his name on the lease. "There were times I doubted if I could do it on my own, pay the bills, handle the responsibilities, make it work without my parents right there. But I did it. And I wanted you to be the first person I showed it to." Allie, visibly moved, reached across the table to squeeze his hand. "You've worked so hard for this, Alex. I'm so proud of you." Her words weren't just supportive, they reflected the genuine partnership the two have built together. Their relationship has weathered its share of ups and downs, including long-distance stretches, differing expectations about the future, and the inevitable growing pains that come with blending two very different worlds. Yet through it all, they've maintained a foundation of mutual respect, open communication, and shared dreams. The decision to move out wasn't made overnight. In fact, it came after months of careful planning, budgeting, and conversations with his parents. Trent and Amber, ever the supportive yet pragmatic duo, encouraged Alex to take his time and ensure he was truly ready. "We've always wanted our kids to be independent," Amber shared in a confessional. "But we also know the world isn't always built for people like us. So independence doesn't just mean having your own place, it means knowing you can advocate for yourself, solve problems, and ask for help when you need it." Alex took those lessons to heart. He secured a part-time job at a local retail store, saved diligently, and even attended financial literacy workshops offered through a nonprofit that supports individuals with dwarfism. He also worked with a realtor familiar with accessibility needs to find a unit that could accommodate his requirements, wider doorways, lower countertops, and adjustable fixtures, without breaking the bank. The apartment itself is a reflection of Alex's personality, practical yet full of character. The living room features a custom-built entertainment center that puts the TV at eye level, while the kitchen boasts pull-down shelving and a step-free shower in the bathroom. But beyond the functional adaptations, it's the personal touches that bring the space to life, a framed photo of him and Allie at the beach, his favorite superhero posters on the wall, and a shelf stacked with video games and sci-fi novels. Perhaps the most touching detail? A small Johnston rules sign hanging by the front door, a playful nod to the family's famous household guidelines, but updated with Alex's own spin. Rule number 1, keep it clean. Rule number 2, no shoes on the couch. Rule number 3, always call your mom. The move has also sparked deeper conversations between Alex and Allie about their future together. While neither is rushing into anything, the stability of Alex's new living situation has opened the door to more serious discussions about cohabitation, long-term goals, and what their life might look like down the road. "I love that he's doing this for himself," Allie said in a solo interview. "It shows me he's serious about building a life, not just with me, but as his own person. And that makes me want to be part of it even more." Fans of the show have responded with an outpouring of support on social media, praising Alex for his maturity and courage. "Watching Alex grow up on TV has been such a gift," one viewer tweeted. "From the kid who struggled with confidence to the man who just signed his first lease, so proud of him." Another added, "This is what representation matters. Seeing someone with dwarfism achieve independence on their own terms is powerful." Of course, the milestone hasn't come without its challenges. Alex admits that the first few nights in the apartment were lonely. "I'm used to hearing my siblings yelling down the hall or my dad making pancakes in the morning," he said with a laugh. "Now it's just quiet. But it's a good quiet. It feels like mine." He's also had to adjust to new responsibilities, like remembering to take out the trash, manage utilities, and deal with a leaky faucet all on his own. But each hurdle overcome has only strengthened his confidence. "Every time I fix something or pay a bill on time, it's like, okay, I can do this. I really can." Back at the family home, Trent and Amber are beaming with pride, even as they admit to missing their son's presence. "It's bittersweet," Trent confessed. "You raise your kids to leave, but that doesn't make it easy. Still, seeing Alex stand on his own 2 feet? That's the dream." As for the rest of the Johnston siblings, they've been quick to offer support, and the occasional teasing. Elizabeth, ever the big sister, dropped off a housewarming basket filled with snacks and cleaning supplies. Jonah, meanwhile, joked that he'd be crashing on the couch every weekend, while Emma and Anna offered to help decorate. It's clear that while Alex may be living on his own, he's still very much part of the tight-knit Johnston clan. This milestone also underscores a broader theme that Seven Little Johnstons has championed since its inception, that people with dwarfism are fully capable of leading rich, independent, and fulfilling lives, on their own terms. Alex's journey is not just his own, it's a beacon for others who may be facing similar doubts or societal barriers. Looking ahead, Alex says he's focused on continuing to grow, both personally and professionally. He's exploring opportunities to return to school for graphic design, a passion he's nurtured since high school. And while he and Allie aren't making any grand announcements just yet, he's hopeful about what the future holds for their relationship. "I used to think I had to have everything figured out before I could move forward," Alex reflected during a quiet moment on his new balcony, the Georgia sunset painting the sky in soft oranges and pinks. "But life doesn't work like that. You just take the next step, even if it's scary, and trust that you'll figure it out as you go." And honestly, I'm figuring it out. With Allie's hand in his own name on the lease, and a heart full of hope, Alex Johnston has not only hit a major milestone, he's redefined what's possible, one brave step at a time. And for fans who've watched him grow up on screen, there's no doubt that this is only the beginning of his next great adventure. Seven Little Johnstons, fans think Allie will leave Alex because of his clinginess. Is he being too obsessed? Reality television has long served as a mirror, sometimes distorted, sometimes startlingly clear, into the dynamics of real families navigating love, growth, and personal challenges. Among the most compelling of these is Seven Little Johnstons, a TLC series that follows the lives of Trent and Amber Johnston and their 5 children, all of whom have achondroplasia, a form of dwarfism. The show, now in its 9th season, has chronicled everything from sibling rivalries and parenting struggles to the emotional complexities of young adulthood. But in recent seasons, one storyline has dominated fan discussions more than any other: the relationship between Alex Johnston and his longtime girlfriend, Allie. At first glance, Alex and Allie's romance seemed like a sweet, steady subplot, a grounded counterbalance to the show's more dramatic moments. They met in high school, reconnected years later, and have since navigated the trials of long distance, career aspirations, and familial expectations together. Yet as their relationship has unfolded on screen, a growing chorus of viewers has voiced concern, not about compatibility or conflict, but about Alex's behavior. Specifically, fans are increasingly worried that Alex's intense emotional dependence on Allie borders on obsession, and many speculate that this dynamic could ultimately drive her away. The central question now circulating across social media platforms, fan forums, and even mainstream entertainment coverage is this: is Alex being too clingy? And more importantly, could his behavior be the undoing of a relationship that once seemed built to last? To understand the current tension, it's essential to trace the arc of Alex and Allie's journey. When they first reconnected as adults, their chemistry was undeniable. Allie, who was average height, a term often used in the dwarfism community to describe people without dwarfism, brought a grounded, empathetic presence to Alex's life. She supported him through his college years, his move to Florida, and his efforts to establish independence from his tight-knit, but sometimes over-involved, family. For his part, Alex appeared smitten. He spoke openly about how much he valued Allie's patience, her understanding of his world, and her willingness to engage with his family's unique experiences. Their early interactions on the show were marked by mutual affection, shared laughter, and a clear sense of partnership. Fans rooted for them, seeing in their relationship a hopeful example of love transcending physical differences and societal assumptions. But as the seasons progressed, subtle shifts began to emerge. Alex's expressions of love, once endearing, started to take on a more anxious, almost desperate tone. He frequently voiced fears about Allie leaving him, even in the absence of any clear conflict. He would call or text her multiple times a day, sometimes expressing frustration when she didn't respond immediately. In one particularly telling episode, Alex admitted he felt lost whenever Allie wasn't around, framing his identity as almost entirely dependent on her presence. Allie, meanwhile, began showing signs of emotional fatigue. While she never lashed out or withdrew dramatically, her body language and tone often conveyed quiet exasperation. She emphasized the importance of personal space, career goals, and maintaining her own friendships, boundaries that Alex sometimes struggled to respect. In a candid confessional, Allie confessed, "I love him, but I also need to be my own person. Sometimes it feels like he wants me to be his whole world, and that's just too much pressure." As these dynamics played out on screen, viewer sentiment began to shift. Early on, fans praised Allie for her compassion and Alex for his vulnerability. But over time, social media exploded with commentary questioning the health of their relationship. On Reddit, a popular thread titled "Is Alex suffocating Allie?" garnered thousands of comments, with many users expressing alarm at his behavior. "He's not just clingy, he's emotionally dependent," one user wrote. "Real love means giving your partner room to breathe." Others pointed to specific moments that raised red flags. In one episode, Alex surprised Allie by showing up unannounced at her workplace after she'd mentioned feeling stressed. While he intended it as a sweet gesture, Allie appeared visibly uncomfortable, later explaining that she needed time alone to decompress. Another scene showed Alex becoming visibly upset when Allie planned a weekend trip with her friends, interpreting it as a sign she was pulling away. TikTok and Instagram have also become hotbeds for analysis. Clips of Alex expressing anxiety over Allie's whereabouts or future plans are frequently paired with captions like "This isn't love, it's insecurity," or "Allie deserves someone who trusts her." Even celebrity relationship coaches have weighed in, with some suggesting that Alex's behavior reflects deeper issues around self-worth and autonomy. Not all fans are critical, of course. A vocal minority defends Alex, arguing that his actions stem from genuine love and fear of abandonment, feelings many people experience in relationships. "He's just insecure," one supporter commented. "That doesn't make him toxic. It makes him human." But the prevailing sentiment leans toward concern. Many viewers now openly speculate that Allie will eventually end things, not because she doesn't care for Alex, but because the emotional weight of his dependency has become unsustainable. It's important to distinguish between healthy attachment and problematic dependency. Clinginess in relationships often arises from insecurity, past trauma, or fear of rejection. It can manifest as frequent texting, jealousy, or a need for constant reassurance. While not inherently toxic, it can become burdensome if left unaddressed. Obsession, on the other hand, involves a loss of boundaries, an inability to respect a partner's autonomy, and often a fixation that overshadows mutual growth. Signs include monitoring a partner's activities, guilt-tripping, or interpreting normal independence as betrayal. Based on what's been shown on 7 Little Johnstons, Alex appears to fall somewhere in the gray area. He hasn't exhibited overtly controlling behavior, but his emotional reliance on Allie, and his difficulty coping when she asserts independence, suggests an imbalance. His repeated statements like "I don't know what I'd do without you" or "You're the only thing keeping me sane" place an unfair emotional burden on Allie, effectively making her responsible for his well-being. Relationship experts note that such dynamics can erode intimacy over time. When one partner becomes the sole source of emotional stability for the other, it creates pressure that no relationship can sustain long-term, says Dr. Lena Morris, a clinical psychologist specializing in attachment theory. Healthy love involves interdependence, not dependence. Alex's behavior may also be influenced by his upbringing. The Johnston family is famously close-knit, with Trent and Amber deeply involved in every aspect of their children's lives. While this has provided a strong support system, it may have inadvertently limited opportunities for Alex to develop a strong sense of self outside of family and romantic relationships. Unlike his siblings, some of whom have moved away, started businesses, or pursued independent paths, Alex has remained more tethered to home. His move to Florida with Allie was a significant step, but even then, he often framed it as being with Allie rather than building my own life. This lack of individual identity may amplify his fear of losing her, as her presence becomes synonymous with his sense of purpose. Allie, by contrast, has consistently demonstrated a desire for balance. She maintains her own career, friendships, and interests, hallmarks of a secure, self-assured individual. Her frustration appears not to stem from a lack of love, but from the emotional labor required to constantly reassure Alex while also managing her own needs. The speculation that Allie might leave Alex isn't baseless. In recent episodes, she's been more vocal about her need for space and her concerns about their future. During a particularly emotional conversation, she told Alex, "I can't be everything to you. You have to want things for yourself, too." Alex's response, tearful and pleading, highlighted his struggle to hear her without taking it as rejection. "But you are everything to me," he replied, missing the point entirely. This disconnect is what worries fans most. If Alex cannot recognize that loving someone means supporting their independence, not just their presence in his life, the relationship may reach a breaking point. Allie has shown remarkable patience, but patience has limits, especially when one partner refuses to grow. Moreover, reality TV often accelerates or dramatizes real-life tensions for narrative effect. It's possible that producers have amplified certain moments for drama. However, the consistency of Allie's expressed needs and Alex's resistance suggests a genuine underlying issue. At its core, the Alex and Allie storyline raises important questions about modern relationships. In an age where soulmates and ride-or-die partnerships are romanticized, it's easy to confuse intensity with intimacy. But true connection requires space, trust, and mutual respect for individuality. Alex's journey, if he chooses to undertake it, would involve developing self-soothing strategies, building confidence outside of his relationship, and learning to communicate his fears without making them Allie's responsibility. Therapy, self-reflection, and support from his family could all play crucial roles. For Allie, the path forward depends on whether she believes Alex is capable of that growth. She's already shown more grace and understanding than many would in her position. But love alone isn't enough to sustain a partnership if one person is constantly pouring from an empty cup. As 7 Little Johnstons continues to air new episodes, viewers are watching Alex and Allie's relationship with bated breath. Will Alex recognize the patterns that are pushing Allie away? Will Allie find the strength to set firmer boundaries, or walk away if nothing changes? Fan theories abound, but only time will tell. What's clear, however, is that their story has resonated far beyond entertainment. It sparked conversations about emotional health, the difference between love and dependency, and the importance of self-worth in relationships. Whether or not they stay together, Alex and Allie's journey serves as a powerful reminder: love shouldn't feel like a cage. It should be a garden, where both people have room to grow, roots to hold them steady, and space to reach for the sun on their own terms. And if Alex can learn that lesson before it's too late, there may still be hope for their future. But if he continues to cling tighter as Allie pulls away, fans' fears may very well become reality.